This matchup of the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics, the top teams in the Eastern Conference. They are vying for home court advantage throughout the playoffs. The Bulls at 53-17 and the Celtics at 51-20. The Bulls have the best overall record in the NBA, half game in front of the Portland Trailblazers. It will be Chicago ball, 5 on the shot clock. That block a moment ago, number 10 for the Celtics. Reggie Lewis with 4 rejections. That shows what a job he's done on Michael Jordan. Pippen for 3. And Shaw on the rebound. We're down to a minute and 45 remaining in overtime.
I'm not sure that Pippen realized how much time was left on the clock just then to get that one up.
Cartwright jumping out. Parrish met by Grant. Here's Bird for 3. Parrish able to get it back. Celtics with a 3-point lead with the ball. A minute 20 to go in overtime. Bird off the screen. Parrish. That is his 3rd field goal in overtime.
It's so hard to understand how he gets the shot off and he has such great touch and shoots 60%.
Here's Jordan, and he's hacked. Celtics arguing the call as Parrish has fouled out.
Robert Parrish is not shooting this over a small person. Bill Cartwright is a 7-footer with bulk. He's got his body up against him, and yet Parrish gets it off and keeps the concentration. At the other end, not too many of the Celtics believe there's a foul here.
Standing ovation for Robert Parrish. Leads with 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 of the 15 here in overtime. At 37 years of age, the oldest player in the league, and perhaps his finest over a star-studded 15-year career. Ed Pinckney, hearing the chants of Eddie from this crowd, will check in, replacing Parrish.
What happens is you get rid of a Parrish. McHale simply moves over into the center spot. Bird stays on the floor, and you bring in another guy, 6'10", 6'11", with long arms that can defend the rebound in Pinckney.
McHale playing with 5 fouls. Jordan is 8 out of 8 from the line. A minute 1 remaining in overtime. Boston leading now by 4. Coming up next, it'll be live final round coverage of the Players Championship from the Tournament Players Club at Sawgrass. We go to Charlie Jones and the boys right after the Bulls and the Celtics. Boston 118 and Chicago 115.
Chicago showing their press now after the made free throw. A little trap in the backcourt.
Get it down. McHale and an Ocean changed his mind. 10 on the shot clock. 45 seconds to go in the overtime. Lewis with the step and then stripped by Jordan. McHale lost it. Here comes Pippen. Try to pull up Paxson for 3 to tie it. He does! The Bulls and the Celtics tied at 118. Boston calls for time with 32 seconds left in overtime.
Chicago put themselves in this position by pressing after the made free throw. As a result, the shot clock is way down. McHale knows he's just got to get it out of there before the buzzer goes off. Instead, the steal on their way at the other end. Pippen leading the break, turns around, finds Paxson trailing, knocks out a 3 to tie the score. 118-118. Coach Jackson kind of hoping something good is going to happen. Just wants to help out, let him know it's a 3.
And John Paxson has hit 4 out of 4 from three-point land. The reaction from Robert Parrish as he watched Paxson put it through. Let's go back to Ahmad.
All right, Mark, Chris Ford what they're trying to do is take the ball down low and trying to draw a foul, trying to get a three-point play, and also trying to stop Chicago from running.
Game tied at 1:18. Down to 25 seconds to go in overtime. 14 on the shot clock. Bird matched with Pippen. Now Grant over to help. Bird is stopped. Bird recovers. Stopped again. And Cartwright able to get to it. Phil Jackson says keep going. No timeout. They'll try to win it here. Final seconds. Jordan. And Bird is fouled with 1/10 of a second remaining, but it's a non-shooting foul. It will be Celtic ball. 1/10 of a second left in overtime with the game tied at 1:18.
Larry Bird didn't realize that Grant was going to be there when he turned baseline. They get a piece of it. Bird just couldn't find the handle. At the end, he just hoped to get it up on the glass, knowing that McHale and Pinckney would be there to offensive rebound. Jordan trying to take it right in transition in the flow of the game, beats his guy. There come the rest of the Celtics to help. And now right here, after the save by McHale, the timeout is called.
And they have readjusted the clock. 1 1/10 second remaining in overtime.
With 1 1/10 second remaining, you can get a possession shot at the basket. It means you can catch it and shoot it. It does not have to be a tip necessarily. That's with 3/10 of a second or less left on the clock, where you have to tip it in to count.
That last foul called on Jordan, his second. Celtics talking it over as they set up the fling. And we are facing the prospect of a second overtime. The Chicago Bulls in their first overtime game of the season. The Boston Celtics in their third. They split the previous two.
In this situation, you're talking about a couple of things that teams can do. One, as you mentioned, is the fling, a hope and a prayer where you just catch it, release it, get out of your hands, similar to what Trent Tucker did earlier this year in Detroit against the Pistons, or some type of lob to the basket where there's a back pick taking place. You hope for the catch and the eventual layup.
All right, let's get back to Ahmad.
All right, Chris Ford, at the time out, Larry Bird will take the ball out of bounds. They're hoping to set a pick low and have a man pop out for the jumper, or maybe get the delay of game penalty and start all over again.
All right, Mike Mathis getting set to throw it in. As you see, Bird 0 for his last 8, and Jordan 0 for his last 7. 1 1/10 second left. And here it is. Bird, intended pass for the prayer. Time runs out. Only D. Brown was in sight. That is not what the Celtics had in mind. And Phil Jackson was attempting to call for a timeout. The scoreboard indicating no time remaining.
On this play, the back pick guy is D. Brown. That's who they're trying to throw the lob for. Pippen sees it, rotates over along with Grant. They come up, and the timeout is called while there still is time on the clock.
Yes, they just placed a 10th of a second remaining. D. Brown, a man who can leap the intended receiver of that pass. Right now, let's go to Charlie Jones at Sawgrass. And back here in Boston, they have once again adjusted the time remaining. Chris Ford very upset as they changed from 1/10 of a second to 4/10 of a second. It will be Chicago ball. That's time remaining in this overtime with the game tied at 1:18. Let's get back to Ahmad.
All right, Mark, with only 4/10 of a second left, what the Bulls are going to try to do is go for the lob play. It'll either be Jordan or Pippen, and Bill Cartwright will take it out of bounds.
All right, Ahmad doing his prowling back behind the Chicago Bulls bench. And it appears that the 7'2" rookie out of Yugoslavia, Stojko Vrankovic, will check in to provide problems on the inbound. Bill Cartwright will look to throw it in.
They don't want to give Cartwright a real good look at the basket. They're telling the big guy, make yourself big, get those arms up there, take away that right hand for that pass.
And Cartwright, after checking it out, calls for timeout. Chicago will have, let's see, was that the final timeout? All right, final timeout taken by the Bulls. And let's see how Chicago plays it now. So Chris Ford going to the strategy. I can recall back in the 70s when Phil Jackson was a member of the Knicks. He was the master at defending against the inbounds with the long windmill effect that he'd provide.
You just don't want to give that passer out of bounds a real good look at the floor. You want him to have to arc the ball so people have a chance to rotate, perhaps steal it. But right now the key thing is they must get the ball inbounds. They have no more timeouts left.
Boston has a 1 and a 20. And now the Bulls, after talking it over once again, will have 4/10 of a second left in overtime. Tie game at 118. We also just received word from the scorer's table. You may recall that last second play where Michael Jordan at first was called for a foul. They say no foul on Jordan. It was just that he deflected the ball out of bounds and stopped the clock. For those of you scoring at home.
After getting a look at the way Boston defended the last play, perhaps now what you do is you run a back cut or backdoor play. Don't use anyone to screen or to backpick, because that gives the Celtics the ability to switch on it. Open the floor up, have people coming to the ball, and then send the guy on the back door that you want to throw the lob to.
The 7'2" Brankovic remaining as the defender. Scottie Pippen now will look to throw in. 4/10 of a second. And here it is, Jordan with the fling. Yes! But it's waved off. Will not count. Mike Mathis said no. Did not beat the clock.
That's a tough call right there. 4/10 of a second means you do have time to catch and shoot. Obviously, he felt that it was in his hands a little bit too long.
I will get another look at it. Whoa, it is waved off by Mike Mathis. Here it is.
Well, that ball is still in his hands. That red light is on right there. That's what you're looking for. If it's in his hands, then it has not been released yet, and the shot would not count. Everything from there looks good, except we just can't see the clock or the red light from that angle.
All right, here's a look at regular speed. You see the shot clock. Now you couldn't really see it. It ran off too quickly. So Mike Mathis said too late. And the Chicago Bulls with a mild protest and have to accept the fact that they're going into a second overtime.
If you look behind the backboard, you'll see that red light. If that red light is on before the ball is released, there's the red light. Ball is still in his hands. A good call by Mike Mathis.
And I think Mike would be pleased to know that it was, not that he's doubting it, but you know, you play it back in your own mind, and I'm sure he saw it all the way. But as you say, as we take another look at it, it was the proper call.
Red light's on, the ball is in his hand, the proper call.
What a shot by Jordan. Forget about the fact it was too late. Under pressure with the fling, and he hit it.
Oh, didn't you expect that to happen? What?
The reaction from Chicago Bulls teammates, they think it's over. That's Scott Williams and B.J. Armstrong leading the victory march, but it does not count. And we go on to a second overtime. The game tied at 118. Robert Parrish has fouled out. He was the hero for the Celtics in overtime number 1 with 6 points. Scottie Pippen, the high man, with 32. Michael Jordan has 32. John Paxson with 22. Larry Bird with 25. Here's Paxson. And rebounded by Bird. A lot of minutes here this afternoon for Larry Bird. Not bad for a guy playing with a bad back and an injured finger. He has not shot well down the stretch. Either has Jordan.
It's great to hear all these coaches talk about they're really concerned as Bird hits a little fadeaway. They're really concerned about the minutes building up. They want to be fresh going into the playoffs until the game starts. Then everyone says winning becomes the most important thing. You go with your main guys, the guys that get you there.
Bird has 27. Boston by 2. Paxson. John Paxson, at the end of the first overtime, hit that clutch three-pointer that tied the game at 118. He's tied it now at 120. A minute in. Overtime number 2. Bird, yes! Larry Bird heating it up. It's Boston 122, Chicago 120.
Robert Parrish gave a little nod right there saying he got it going right now. He feels it.
Pippen lost it. Celtics with Shaw, Lewis, and Brown. So Lewis goes up front with McHale and Bird. Shaw and Brown are at the guard. Grant on Bird, off the head fake. Rebounded by Pippen. Now Pippen played by Lewis. Jordan guarded by Shaw. Here's Jordan. A spectacular attempt. Incredible that he got the shot off. Brian Shaw had it knocked away. Here's D. Brown. Yes. D. Brown has hit 9 for 11 for 19 points. Timeout called by Chicago. It's Boston by 4 points. All right, Charlie. Well, they are prepared here at the Boston Garden for the possibility of 6 overtimes. That should be pointed out. We are only in the second overtime with 3:08 remaining. And we have had some dazzling finishes at the end of regulation. It was Bird with the opportunity to win it for Boston, but it did not bounce his way. And at the end of overtime, Michael Jordan hit one, but Mike Mathis ruled that it was too late. Did not beat the clock. Boston with a 4-point lead. Cartwright with the Duncan under move, and his shot was bottled up. Cartwright thought he was fouled. And the foul called on the Celtics. This, the scene at the end of the first overtime. Jordan able to hit, but it was waved off. Time had run out.
Good call by Mike Mathis, the official, right on the play. Caught a little bit of the light, heard the horn, saw the ball was still in his hand.
Seems to be some confusion as to who that last foul was called on. Kevin McHale in a discussion with the officials. If it's on McHale, it would be number 6.
This team on the floor right now for the Celtics, it's a good team to match up against Chicago with Bird as your power forward and McHale as the center right now. McHale not agreeing who the foul was on. It lets Lewis match up against Pippen. Good matchup there, and that's fine.
Mike, the officials being very compassionate as McHale continued the argument. He could be hit with a technical or a delay of game.
Well, let's get a look right here where the foul takes place. McHale saying that actually his contact came after Larry Bird's. The foul should have gone to perhaps Bird or someone else, but not me.
Well, Bird playing with 4, and McHale sitting down. He's fouled out. Jordan is 10 for 10 at the line. See the disparity of the free throws. Chicago Bulls spending lots of time at the foul line.
Celtics have 13 more field goals this game than Chicago does, but Chicago, a team with a great deal of athleticism, gets to the rim, takes people off the dribble.
Ed Pinckney has come on, replacing Kevin McHale. McHale making the return from the sprained ankle. Finished with 10 points, 6 rebounds. Jordan continues his perfection at the line. He now has 34 points. That after a 7-point first half. Boston by 2. 2:40 to go in the second overtime. Bird with the fake through the foul and hits.
Just about everyone else in the building gave up on that shot, feeling, well, at least we got the whistle and the 2 free throws. Bird never gave up on the shot. After he released it, he hangs with it. He's still hanging with it. Yeah, I knew it was going.
And hits the free throw. 3-point play for Bird. Horace Grant called for the foul. Bird now has 32 points, along with 14 rebounds and 8 assists. 5-point Celtic lead. 2:20 to go. Second overtime. Bird stripped. Pippen on the recovery, and Shaw comes away with it. Here's Lewis. And he was fouled by Jordan.
In the transition defense that time, Pippen and Jordan got a little bit confused. Jordan thought Pippen was going to rotate out to stop the attack from the corner by Lewis. Instead, Pippen thought that Jordan was going to stop him. Jordan just takes the foul to stop the dunk.
Lewis now 2 for 3 from the line, an 84% free throw shooter.
Michael making sure he's not going to get a good shot at the basket.
Reggie Lewis pumping him up, did not take much time at the line.
As a result, a very good foul by Michael Jordan.
Bulls put the ball down by 5, just under 2 minutes to go in the second overtime. Jordan draws it, and he hits. Very friendly rims here at the Boston Garden.
Very similar to the play that Bird just completed at the other end. Once he got it up there, his concentration is so great, he honestly feels this thing is going in. He hangs with it, hangs with it. He's on the ground right now saying, I know this is going in.
Shaw called for his 4th. Jordan 12 for 12 from the line. He has 37, and the Bulls now within 2. Here's the reaction by Michael Jordan after he took the hit from Shaw. Minute 45 to go in the second overtime. Bird fires. Yes!
Grant just kind of shook his head and said, this guy's too much.
34 for Bird. Boston by 4. Jordan off the triple team. And Bird on the rebound. The officials check it out. Last touch by Chicago, or was a foul call? It's a foul on Pippen. Will be Boston ball. Minute 27 left in the second overtime. And the chant of Larry. Dee Brown beat John Paxson off the pick. It's the Celtics by 6, and the Bulls take the timeout.
Larry Bird does so many things to help his team out by coming over, setting a good solid screen, and allowing his teammate to play pick and roll basketball. He hopes to free up Dee Brown. Bird coming over, sets a good one, and right here, as he catches Paxson, he needs a little bit of help, Paxson, from his teammate. Grant has to step out. Someone's got to protect that area. Instead, Dee Brown turns the corner, gets in the paint, and converts, which is the biggest thing. Watch the elevation at the end as he goes up. Eyes on the rim with concentration.
Dee Brown with 21 points. He's hit 10 out of 12 from the field. A number of remarkable performances here in what has been a terrific ball game between the Bulls and the Celtics. 1:10 to go, second overtime. Chicago with the ball down by 6. Yes, and it counts. John Paxson again. And Reggie Lewis called for the foul.
That whole play was set up by the defensive man going underneath the screen. Watch him go underneath. Dee Brown goes under. Paxson stays behind the three-point line. Now the opportunity for perhaps a 4.
A most unusual play, the 4-pointer, as Paxson is connected on 5 out of 5 from downtown. It's a 2-point Boston lead. 57 seconds to go, second overtime. Brian Shaw right back. And it's Boston 133 and Chicago 129.
Larry Bird has been sensational. The Chief has been great. McHale has been good. But D. Brown and Shaw have knocked out big shots for the Celtics today.
Jordan not able to hit. Ed Pinckney able to fight his way off the board.
Got to get it over the half-court line before it's a 10-second violation.
He just did get it across. And we get the whistle. Shaw and Brown in a collision. Foul call on the Bulls.
Larry Bird realizes he's in trouble. He can't dribble it across. There's not enough time left. It's the pass that gets it there. 3 Celtics are trying to help out. 2 collide.
Foul on Paxson. Reggie Lewis to the line. He missed his last 2. And again, pumps it up. Not taking any time. Some advice from Brian Shaw. So he's missed his last 3 from the line. Boston 134. Chicago 129. Chicago has 1 timeout remaining. 3-point attempt by Pippen. That is his second of the day, second of the season. 2-point Celtic lead. Down to 15 seconds remaining. In the second overtime, Celtics give the foul. Jordan once again putting Lewis at the line.
And although Lewis has struggled the last couple times that he stepped up there, he is an 84% free throw shooter on the season.
And he is now 3 for 7 at the foul line. Bulls have the 1 timeout remaining. 15 seconds to go in the second overtime. It's a 2-point lead. So the Bulls call for time. They're down by 3. When we come back, Chicago ball. They are out of timeouts. Thank you, Charlie. A stirring conclusion here in Boston. Second overtime, 15 seconds remaining. This the 3-point shooting. John Paxson 5 for 5. Scottie Pippen has been hitting the 3-pointer. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, the strategy here is Michael Jordan will bring the ball down court. If he finds a lane, he'll take it to the hole. If not, he's going to try to get it to Paxson or Pippen on the wing.
And here's Jordan for 3. Gets it out for Jordan. Again for 3. Time running down. 0.5 of a second remaining in the second overtime, and that will do it. Celtics in double overtime and defeated the Chicago Bulls 135 to 132 in a wild one. They even up the season series at 2-2. The Bulls now 53-18, and Boston goes to 52-20. Today's Miller Genuine Draft Player of the Game, Larry Bird, with 34 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. On behalf of Larry Bird, NBC and Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad saying so long from Boston.